in my domain, got the whole crowd screaming out our name. It's a blowout, it's a hurricane, it's over before you know it. While you shaking, we're a dynasty in the making. We're the royalty, now we're breaking down the enemy. Move over for the soldiers. Take a swing, I can take a hit. If we die, it's fine, we live for this. It's all for this. We're gonna stand on top with our hands in the sky. Gonna raise our cup to the stadium lights. For the glory, for the glory. We celebrate with the city tonight. Hear the hometown cheer, it's the ultimate high. For the glory, we do it for the glory.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome here as we get ready for race number 27 of season 6 rather. Wow. Of the NNSCRA Hersheys Cup Series. We are getting set here tonight for chase race number 1 of the season, where drivers will embark on a 10-race journey in order to try and make it into the final 4 to compete for the championship at the season finale at Auto Club. We kick things off here tonight at Chicagoland, and it's the same old system we've had for the past few seasons. You win here tonight, you automatically get a ticket into the round of 12. We will see 4 drivers depart from the chase in 3 weeks' time at our first elimination race, which will be at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Now, last week at M&M's, our final regular season race, we saw something that we have not seen, to my knowledge, in the Hersheys Cup Series, where J Baskinger pulled a shot clock cheese, went to victory lane, and tied with Anthony McCrury for the final 16th spot in the playoffs, and as a result, NNSCRA officials awarding both Jake Baskinger and Anthony McCrury a spot in the playoffs. So for the first time, we have 17 drivers battling for the championship in the Hersheys Cup Series chase. And as a result, with there being 17 drivers, our first round elimination will see the departure of 5 drivers rather than the original 4. So drivers will be still trying to keep themselves in the top 12 in the point standings. Drivers 13th through 17th in points when the checker flag waves at Indianapolis. Their chase hopes will come to an end. A few weeks ago, at the dirt track of the Springfield Mile, I believe it was. Or no, I'm sorry, it was DuQuoin. In one of the DuQuoin duels, Cole Baker picked up his first win of the season. Wasn't enough to get him into the playoffs, but Cole Baker looking to get himself his second win of the season as he'll start on the pole for this race. Alongside of him, J Ciculli had a long winless streak for that 73 car, and we'll see if maybe he can quell that here tonight. Then you got playoff contenders back in the next 5 spots. Baskinger starting 3rd, Daniel Voyles in 4th, R Reynolds, a rookie, in 5th, Dallas McIntosh, our Daytona 500 winner, 6th, and 7th, 2-time winner Alex Drayton. So a lot of playoff contenders starting up here at the front and want to get their chase off to a good start. Let's go down and get those most famous words.
Drivers, start your engines.
There is the command. And we normally give you the top 10, the point standings coming into each race, but we're going to give you your chase points coming into this race now after they were reformatted when the checker flag waved last week at M&M's Super Speedway. So Brooke Allen comes in as the number 1 seed with her 3 wins. She holds a 3-point advantage over 2-time winners Josh McCloud, Alex Drayton, J Arndt, and Benny Watson. And then 6 points over the other drivers that had 1 win this season and made it in the playoffs, and they include T Walch, Z Fitzwater, Charles Sandfer, Trent Dunham, Daniel Voyles, Dallas McIntosh, Brandon Gonzalez, R Reynolds, K Shearer, Benjamin Miles, and the aforementioned Jake Baskinger and Anthony McCrury. You'll be able to tell the playoff drivers apart from the drivers that are not in the playoffs. Playoff drivers running with a silver banner on the driver name above the windshield, and also with special spoilers with a brown spoiler and gray edges, so you'll be able to tell them all apart. It's a little tough to tell with the lighting here tonight at Chicagoland, but for the most part, anybody that's kept track of the series this season will basically be able to tell the drivers regardless. We've got somebody in trouble back there already. I think that might have been a playoff contender in the 15 of Tim Walch. We'll cover that in just a moment, but it looked like someone had blown up on the grid. Cole Baker's going to bring us down, and the chase for the Season 6 Hersheys Cup Series Championship is green. Let's roll. One driver that's not going to roll, I think that was the 15. Whoever it was, I think it's already out of the race. And I'm pretty certain it was the 15 of Tim Walsh. What a heartbreak to start off the playoffs for one of the top 5 most consistent drivers during the regular season. And it was Tim Walsh. He's already out of the race. He never even made it to the green. So Tim Walsh and that 15 team, they are really going to have a lot of work to do in the upcoming weeks. Next week at Kentucky and the following week at Indianapolis to get themselves back into the round of 12. Side by side for the lead, chaser J Baskinger looking for back-to-back wins to the inside of Cole Baker for the top spot. Baker led the first lap, but won the second. Inside line got good momentum there out of turn 4, which is something we haven't seen most of this weekend, and Baskinger will, by a splitter, lead that lap, so he'll have, at this point in time, 1 bonus point advantage over the rest of his playoff contenders. J Reynolds in 3rd place now, trying to run down Cole Baker for 2nd. Baker going to cross over, though. He's going to go to the bottom and look for the top spot back for Baskinger. Reynolds may be looking 3 wide here out of turn 4. Instead, tucks back up behind Baker, who's going to take the position back at the line. So now, Tim Walsh, he's got to hope for one of 2 things to happen. Either a number of playoff contenders finish down in the bottom of the finishing result so he doesn't lose too many points to them, or they wreck out. That is such a tough break there for Tim Walsh. He was the 6th seed driver, highest of all the drivers with 1 win this season. As there was a car that was up on the wall there. It looked like that was the 42 of Blaine Keys. Keeps it straight though. And looks like we're still going to remain under the green flag. McIntosh, Daytona 500 winner, right now the 2nd highest running playoff contender, just ahead of A Drayton and D Voyles, right now scored in 3rd place. Started out the regular season with a trip to victory lane, would love to start out the chase season with a trip to victory lane here at Chicagoland. As a matter of fact, I was looking back at the previous races that we've run here at Chicagoland, and out of our 5 previous races, 3 races have been won by drivers that were in the playoffs. Season 2, 4, and 5. Season 2 was Grayson Acevedo, who went to victory lane. I remember that very well back in the 66 Dodge Mopar Dodge Dart, if I recall. And then Season 4, Benjamin Miles went to victory lane. He was a playoff contender that year. And last year, Joshua Michaels went to victory lane. There was nearly some contact right there between a couple of playoff contenders. McIntosh, the 14, the 38 of Baskinger. Both bookended the regular season with victory lane visits. 2 previous winners of this event that were not playoff contenders at the time. J.T. Bryant took the checker flag here back in its first race in Season 1. And Amori Studemeyer, you remember, was a non-charter driver back in Season 3. He went to victory lane here, if I recall. It was in the number 19 Aris Toyota Camry out of Joe Gibbs Racing. Side by side, playoff contenders. Whoa! James Richardson looked loose in the middle. He nearly went up with a Cole Baker. That was a close call. Settle it out, though, as McIntosh will lead that lap, so he becomes the 2nd playoff driver to lead a lap here today. Right now, we have 5 playoff contenders up inside the top 10. McIntosh, Baskinger 1-2, Drayton in 5th, Voyles in 6th, and R.J. Reynolds right now in the 8th position, as here comes James Richardson to the bottom, looking for his first win since last year when he took the checkers at the road course of Sonoma. cluster of playoff contenders right there. Voyles, Reynolds, and Drayton. Last year in the playoffs, we ended up having, if I recall correctly, I want to say we had 3 rookies make it into the playoffs. K Shearer, I know, was one. I believe Alex Drayton was another. I'm trying to remember who that third driver was. As up front, battle between a couple of non-playoff contenders. Baker in the 18, Richardson in the 11. We'll look real quickly and see who that third rookie was. No, it was only just 2 rookies last year. I thought it was 3, Drayton and Shearer. Well, this year we've got 3 rookies, as they're going to go 3 wide for the lead here. Boy, they're getting really racy. L McIntire had to lift quite a bit there on the bottom through 3 and 4. We've got Joshua Collard, R Reynolds, and Benny Watson battling in the playoffs this season. Never had a rookie win the championship, but those rookies that made it into the playoffs are multi-time winners this season. Watson with 2 wins, and Joshua Collard with 2 wins. You're seeing them race really hard up here at the front now, and I think a big reason is the tires are going away. I also failed to mention as well, our last 2 races this weekend, the truck race and the Pizza Next Series race, we didn't see pit stops. We've been in a long green flag run up to this point, and I do have it on good authority. These drivers cannot make it 41 laps on 1 tank of fuel. So if we continue to run green, or if we get a caution, these drivers, they will be hitting pit road before the checkered flag comes out here at the finish of the Chicagoland race. So that's going to be very important for a number of these drivers here, especially the drivers up here at the front, and of course, more importantly, our playoff contenders. The drivers have not yet cracked the top 10, but they're there. Brooke Allan, Benjamin Miles, and K Shearer. They've all just been looming outside the top 10 last couple of laps, but they are up here ready to pounce if necessary to get into the top 10. We've got Reynolds right in front of them. He's 11th, and right now a battle for 12th between the 34 and the 3. Of course, Brooke Allan coming in the only 3-time winner this season, so she is right now in possession of the number 1 seed. Benjamin Miles right behind her. I mentioned already, he's a former winner here at Chicagoland, winning here 2 seasons ago in season 4. In this field, we have 3 former winners. I'm sorry, only 2 former winners. Miles being 1 as he goes way up the track there out of turn 4, but it didn't really seem to hurt him. And, of course, J.T. Bryant being the other. We haven't really seen the 22 come up here to the front at all. So I don't know if he's going to have a shot of getting his second win at this racetrack in his career. Another car way up the track, that's Alex Drayton in the 77. But one thing I'm noticing is they're doing a pretty good job, even though they go way up there out of the gray line in the corners, of being able to maintain the spot. And that's because being way up on the top side, you're able to get back to the corner a lot sooner and maintain your position off the corner. Dallas McIntosh right now the highest running of the playoff contenders, trying to make it Sega Motorsports championships for 2 seasons in a row. His teammate and the defending champion, T Dunham, is in this field. As a matter of fact, we have 2 former champions that made the playoffs this year. Anthony McCrury, who was the inaugural champion back in season 1, as we were nearly 4 wide there, and Trent Dunham, the defending champion of the series. Drop to the back real quickly here as Cole Baker still in control of the top spot, and see if we've got playoff drivers that are struggling. And indeed we do. Brandon Gonzalez way back here in the 23, the Nissan Maxima. He's scored right now in 40th place. The guy that dominated the point standings for the second half of the regular season, Joshua Collard, he's way back here. Another rookie also back here, Benny Watson, 24, and also the 59 there of Zachary Fitzwater. Right now, these 2 drivers would technically be battling on track for the 8th position in the points. As right now, 9th would be Collard, 10th would be, 10th would be Collard, 11th would be Gonzalez, and right now, 12th, wow. I really failed on that. They're actually battling for what would be the first elimination spot, I'm sorry. They would be battling right now for what would be 13th. As right now, 15th would be Collard, 16th would be Gonzalez, and 17th would be Walch. That time I got it right. I was thinking of our Pizza Hut 12 slots in the playoffs, forgetting we're in the Hersheys Cup Series where there's 17 playoff drivers. Battle for the lead, Baker and Richardson. Now Baker went to victory lane a couple weeks ago already at one of the dual races at DuQuoin. We mentioned Richardson had to mention victory lane. And I actually was incorrect. I said since Infineon of last year, he actually was a two-time winner last season. His last win was actually at Talladega Speedway near the end of last year. So that was actually his last win, but still hasn't won since last season. Side by side for second now, Dallas McIntosh and Cole Baker. Cole Baker going to victory lane was only the second driver out of Seth Cole Baker to win this year. Now there's another contender up here towards the front. Another rookie, Elijah Gilbert in the 98. We've had 3 rookies go to victory lane this season. Wow, that was close through that corner as Baskinger and Drayton were really low, and it looked like Drayton almost slid up into Baskinger. But we've had Benny Watson go to victory lane. Joshua Collard's gone to victory lane, as has who was the other one? All of a sudden, my memory is failing me on who it was. R.J. Reynolds, that's what it was. So Elijah Gilbert trying to become the 4th player to find victory lane this season. And if he does so, that would be 66% of our rookie field that has found victory lane this season. The only other drivers that are yet to find victory lane, Jordan Anderson, Elijah Gilbert, and Shane Lake. 50% of our rookies this year have made it into victory circle. As 3 wide for the lead, baby. McIntosh in the middle, Richardson up top, and Gilbert had to back out of that one as he was way down low. Now, if we were running the regularly scheduled distance from our last 2 races this weekend, we'd be nearing 3 laps to go, but there's still an added 14 laps on this distance. And again, when are these drivers going to have to pit? We know they can make it past lap 27, but after that, I'm not exactly sure what the fuel window is and when these drivers are going to have to hit pit lane. We've seen McIntosh, Drayton, Baskinger up here, but how about Daniel Voyles? Good run there for the Hyundai Sonata, as he is last time by scored in the 9th place, and right behind him, Benjamin Miles in 10th. Daniel Voyles, a number of drivers making their first career Hersheys Cup Series playoff berth. Brooke Allen, Joshua Collard, Benny Watson, Daniel Voyles. This is Dallas McIntosh's first playoff, but I might be wrong. R.J. Reynolds as well. And a couple of them are really good right now. Back up towards the front. Driver I just noticed was up in the top 10, Dylan Poteet. Driver that dominated the first half of the regular season, but after the All-Star race, the season just fell apart. He fell all the way down to the standings and was not high enough for his win to count towards a spot in the playoffs. So now, Poteet just trying to finish out the year with as many wins as possible. And right behind him, a good run for Kat Batson there, that 70 car. Now in the 8th position, just trying to finish out what's been a struggling season for her. The quest continues as Kat tries to get herself out of the bottom 5 in the point standings, with in danger of losing her charter for next year. Right now, the 5 drivers coming into the races. We've got the pit stops. McIntosh is the first one to hit pit road. Some drivers decided to stay out, and that turns the lead over to Elijah Gilbert. But the 5 drivers that come into the danger zone into tonight's race right now are Johnny Gardner, Joshua Ciculli, Jessica Shelton, Kat Batson, and Blaine Keys. So the pit stops just a couple of laps after the scheduled distance of our Truck and Pizza X Series race. And here comes Gilbert now to pit road. Jake Baskinger has already led a lap today, but I guess trying to get himself good track position. He stayed out. So did another playoff contender, Anthony McCrury. McCrury in the 61. So we'll have to see if this plays out for those two playoff contenders. The driver that stayed out was Kyle Keith there in the 29. So 3 drivers stay out an extra lap here. Baskinger, McCrury, and Keith. We'll have to see where they all come out in relation to everybody else. They might be wanting to come down maybe a slightly less congested pit road, and that's why they stayed out an extra lap. We'll have to wait and see if it benefits them or not. Saw the 14 of McIntosh going around. Now he's currently getting his lap back from J Baskinger. So we'll follow these 3 drivers on pit road here. Baskinger and McCrury, how ironic those two decide to stay out. The 2 drivers who tied for the 16th seed after last week's race at M&M's with Baskinger's win. And now they're both trying to pull a bit of a shot clock cheese here and take the win at Chicagoland. Remember, you win here at Chicagoland, you automatically lock yourself up a spot in the round of 12. Baskinger down and away. Let's see where the race leader is going to come out as, and it looks like it might be the 98 of Elijah Gilbert if he can get around Baskinger on the back straightaway here, and indeed he will. So Gilbert to the front. Second is going to be Dallas McIntosh. Richardson will be third. We'll have to see where Baskinger finally slots into. He'll still be in the top 10, I think. Looks like he's going to slot into 4th with Poteet 5th. 6th, Daniel Voyles. Brooke Allen's in 7th. James McCloud up to 8th. 9th place right now is Kat Batson. And McCrury slotted into the 10th spot. There's Cole Baker, who was up front at the beginning of this thing, and now I believe he's the last car on the tail end of the lead lap, so I don't know what happened to the U.S. Navy Chevrolet. He's not crossing the line as the leader. That's Elijah Gilbert, so problems on that pit stop apparently for the 18 car. And now these drivers, they've got what they've got. They come down pit road, they've put on 4 Goodyear Eagles, and now they got to go out there and basically be the masters of their own destiny on whether they're going to win this race or not. You've got a lot of contenders up here. They're 4 wide. Look at that. Richardson way up the track may have brushed the wall, but you got a lot of contenders up here of drivers that want to win to move on to the next round of the playoffs. You got McIntosh, Voyles, Allan, and Baskinger. Got some spoilers up here too. Poteet, McCloud, Richardson, Batson, of course Elijah Gilbert leading this pack. Chris Dodd has managed to move his way up by Benjamin Miles. This is a battle for the 10th spot. Miles right now in 11th, and McCrury back in 12th. Let's find out where the rest of our playoff contenders are running after those pit stops. We get stopped with McCrury in 12th place. J Arndt right now is in 15th. And that spot's just fixed there. That just dropped J Arndt down to 16th now. K Shearer is in 23rd, Benny Watson 25th, Trent Dunham 26th, Joshua Collins 27th, 28th is Zachary Fitzwater. R Reynolds back in 33rd place, Brandon Gonzalez is 36th, Alex Drayton dropped way back to 38th, Charles Sandfer is in 39th. I mentioned Cole Baker back in 41st, so right now the 5 drivers in danger that would be in the danger zone are Tim Walch, Charles Sandfer, Alex Drayton, Brandon Gonzalez, and R Reynolds. If the race were to end right now, those would be the drivers that would be currently scored 13th or 17th in the standings heading into next week's race at Kentucky. Which, if I recall, is going to be very similar, I think, to this track. Going to be a Highline track. Highline gets a good run on the exit of turns 2 and 4 like we've seen here tonight. Battle on for second. That's between 2 playoff contenders right now. You've got Chasers running 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. That might not last long because I think Baskinger might have thoughts for the lead under Elijah Gilbert as they're closing in on the Cole Baker machine. Last car on the lead lap, currently scored in the 41st position. Elijah Gilbert, a former Pizza Hut X Series champion. Championship back in season 2, trying to become the 2nd Pizza X Series champion to go to victory lane here this season, the Hersheys Cup Series. Benny Watson was the first, the inaugural Pizza X Series champion. All 3 of the Pizza X Series champs in this field as rookies this season. One Jordan Anderson, who won the championship back in season 3. And of course, Elijah Gilbert, as we mentioned, trying to become the fourth different rookie to go to victory lane this year as well. He would also be the third driver from Seth Cole Baker Motorsports to go to victory lane this season. Baker, of course, winning a few weeks ago at one of the dual races at DuQuoin. Anthony McCrury being the first winner of the team this year at Phoenix. Still trying that inside line. He's able to stay alongside Elijah Gilbert, but he's not getting the exit off turn 4 like Elijah Gilbert. That outside line still gets him at the line by about the car length, so Gilbert continues to still hold the top spot. And he's kind of getting some help there, too, from his teammate Cole Baker. When Baker moves up to the high line there in the straightaways, that's offering a little bit of draft help to the 98 and allowing him a little bit better straightaway speed into the corner. Dallas McIntosh driving it way down low in turn 3. Drifts it up off the corner. Couldn't get to the left rear quarter panel of Baskinger, but he's looking. Trying to not only be the highest running playoff contender in the field, but also trying to get a win to get into the round of 12. And now Baskinger might be able to get the top spot as Gilbert slipped up a little there through turns 1 and 2, but Gilbert battles back again on the high side. Coming to the checkered flag this time. Can Baskinger get into the playoffs? Round of 12, or will Gilbert get his first win of the season? Outside line prevailed through the center of the corner. Elijah Gilbert gets his first Hersheys Cup Series win here tonight at Chicagoland. What a battle there at the end. Gilbert becomes the third winner of the season for Seth Cole Baker Motorsports, fourth rookie to go to victory lane, and he denies Baskinger not only his second straight victory, but an automatic ticket into the round of 12 for the playoffs. No doubt about it that Elijah Gilbert definitely wanted this win, but I think probably Baskinger wanted it even more. A driver who, at the last minute last week, got into the playoffs with his win, would have loved to have been able to pretty much pull a Joshua Michaels from last season. Michaels finished out the regular season with a win at M&M's and then won the first race of the chase to make it into the round of 12 at Chicagoland. So Baskinger was trying to have lightning strike twice, but officially by 52 1/1000ths he comes up short. Now the good news for Baskinger though is even though he didn't automatically lock himself up a spot into the next round of the playoffs, he came away with second as the highest finishing playoff contender. So that is at least a good thing for him. That'll certainly help him in his quest to make it into the round of 12 in the next 2 weeks. Daniel Voyles, great run for that playoff contender as well, as he's going to get third and Dallas McIntosh fourth. So the 38, 26, 14, they're going to be in really good shape heading into Kentucky. J McCloud, great run for him. We really didn't talk about him all night. He was outside the top 10 when the green flag pit stops began, but battled up for a top 5 run in 5th. Brooke Allen will probably keep the points lead for the playoff contenders as she finishes the day out in 6th place. So a great run for another playoff contender there. Dylan Poteet rather, brings it home in 7th with James Richardson 8th. 9th place Kat Batson, and Chris Dodd, where'd he come from in the closing stages? He's going to get 10th place. A couple of other drivers that had good runs as playoff contenders though. 11th place for Benjamin Miles. Anthony McCrury brings it home 14th, and J Arndt in 15th place. So they're going to be, I think, pretty satisfied with those runs here tonight, and they'll be in pretty good shape heading into Kentucky. But then you go further down the running order, and this is where you start to get to the question marks of drivers that'll probably have to be battling for those final few spots in the top 12 in the upcoming weeks, especially next week at Kentucky. K Shearer 23rd, Benny Watson 25th, Trent Dunham in 26th, Joshua Collier 27th, Zachary Fitzwater 28th, a bunch of playoff contenders clumped up down there. And then you look further down and you've got R Reynolds in 34th, Brandon Gonzalez 36th, Alex Drayton back in 38th, Charles Sandfer 39th, and not on the grid, you don't see him there, but 42nd place, Tim Walch. Good news for Tim Walch is a number of other playoff contenders struggled here tonight, so maybe with a good run next week at Kentucky, he can battle back into the top 12, and if he gets a win next week, he doesn't even matter. He's going to make it into the round of 12 regardless. But right now, the 5 drivers that would be in the danger zones outside of the round of 12 at this point in time would be Reynolds, Gonzalez, Drayton, Sandfer, and Walsh. We'll have to see if that changes next week at Kentucky. But fourth rookie to go to victory lane this season, his first career Hersheys Cup Series win, J Gilbert starts off the chase with a victory here at Chicagoland. Hope you guys enjoyed tonight's race. If you did, be sure to give us a video, like, subscribe, become part of the crew today. We have shown you your full official results. These are your overall point standings, rookie point standings, and your playoff points heading into next week. Next race you'll see will be another Hersheys Cup Series race, as trucks and Pizza Deck Series drivers are off next week. We'll be having our second chase race of the season at the Kentucky Speedway next week for Hersheys Cup Series. Then the following week, Pizza Deck Series are back with Hersheys Cup Series in Indianapolis, and then all three series are back for the it will be the first elimination race for both trucks and Pizza Deck Series at the dirt track of Oswego. It would be race 1 of round 2 for the Hersheys Cup Series drivers, as the previous race in Indianapolis is their first elimination race of their playoffs. But till then, I've been Seth Cole. You've been watching a production of the NNSCRA Offline Racing That's Best. We'll see you guys next week at Kentucky.